Have you ever wanted to read a letter that was meant for someone else? Have you ever wanted to travel the world but didn't have the time or the money? If so, you are in the right place. Welcome to In My Voice, the podcast where we read letters and share travel stories about places by our guests. I am your host, Bonaheri, and each week I'll guide you through these two different yet fascinating worlds. In the first segment, we'll read letters written to listeners like you about a variety of subjects, from heartwarming stories to heartbreaking experiences. These letters offer a unique perspective on the human experience. Some of them will make you laugh, while the others will bring a tear to your eye. But they all have one thing in common. They are written from the heart. In the second segment, we will embark on a journey to explore the world through travel stories. We'll visit exotic destinations, meet interesting people, and experience the joys and challenges of traveling. Whether you are a seasoned traveler or someone who's always dreamed of seeing the world, you will find something to inspire you in these stories. So, join me every week as we dive into these two fascinating worlds. In My Voice. I promise you won't be disappointed. Subscribe now and don't miss an episode. Hey, welcome back to another episode of In My Voice. I'm your host, Bonaheri, and I'm always excited to be here with you. Today I'm excited to bring to you a very amazing episode by Father Kiibi. This episode of In My Voice is proudly sponsored by the Rotary Club of Kampala Central, and it features the famous Father Kiibi talking about how we can handle DNA results in our marriages. You know, the talk about DNA has been going on for a very long time. This time, the Rotary Club of Kampala Central invited the man of God himself to share his opinions about how we can handle DNA results. What follows is an incredible talk by Father Kiibi on how we can handle DNA test.
I see so many great people here, and I recognize you all. You gave me a funny topic for me to handle about DNA results. These days, they are giving me topics that are funny. Recently, I was given a topic of sex, love, and marriage. And I was asking these people, how can you invite priests to talk about sex? and by the way, there are so many people there waiting for a priest to talk about sex. Anyway, I said whatever I could, then until I left. But normally before I speak a few words, every time I hand a microphone, I remind everybody to be grateful to God that you are still alive. So I want to thank the Lord that you are still alive, you are not yet dead. And I read last year that globally we lost more than 61.6 million people. And when you calculate, about 4 people died per second. So every time you wake up and you are alive, you are not yet dead, you must be grateful. I've been telling everywhere I go that I read about the most successful people. Because I had enough people, they are contented with what the power of the universe has given to them. Because every day, we know very well, we have 24 hours, we have 1,440 minutes, and 86,400 seconds. All these ones are deposited on our life accounts. So every time they go to bed, they are grateful to the power of the universe for whatever they have been given. So I thank the Lord for you. You look so nice. Your look is on syllabus. So I want to thank the Lord for the jobs you have and the good life. It's as if you're not ruled by the president of this country. So nebaza mukama abakumye nga muli balamu na byonna bye mulina. So njagala ffenna tugambe Katonda yeebale nnyo, Katonda yeebale jakumwebazanga emirembe gyonna, jakumwebazanga obuteddiza. Put your hands together and clap for God that you are still alive. So I want to speak a few things about what you told me, but I will ask you after my talk, you will do some supplements, because the topic failed me and I also failed it. But let me say a few words about the topic. Anyway, the topic was handling DNA results. And you know, this DNA, I remember in my biology class, it was called deoxyribonucleic acid. Yes, deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA. And this one, the definition I know, this one I read from the internet, is the genetic material. That genetic material one inherits from the mother and the father. So that genetic material that we get from our parents is what they call the DNA. And normally they use the term paternity, that means fatherhood. So I asked myself, how accurate is this DNA? Of course, as you know, it's extremely accurate that someone committed adultery at some time. That's an open, it's open like a pregnant woman that she's not virgin. It's extremely accurate that someone committed adultery at some time, or slept with multiple partners in a single day or at the same time. So someone is not sure exactly. So then I was asking myself, why do we need it? Then I said that we need it to establish paternity or fatherhood, because it helps the child to gain legal rights. When you go to developed countries, even child support, child custody, and so forth. Then secondly, also identifying links to the genetic conditions that can affect your long-term health. We need to know who is really responsible. There are some families which are not easy to be part of. When you go there, you see their behaviors, you see how they look like. To go there, it's a very big risk for you. But as you know, that DNA is all about adultery and sex outside the normalities or the normals of marriage. So now, I want to tell you something about adultery. Obwenzi. You see, adultery is wrong in the first case. It's wrong. Like you are keeping quiet, I know why you are keeping quiet. Adultery is wrong because when you get married, your sex becomes exclusive to your partner. And when I read about these most successful people, I wrote a book. I've been having this book for since I was ordained. I want to publish it on my 10th anniversary. And one of the topics I read extensively about is sex in the African context. And I discovered that in Africa, women were encouraged to always be ready for their husbands when time comes for this. So sex is supposed to be exclusive and should not be shared with anyone else outside. Further, the 10 Commandments for us Catholics, as you know, it forbids adultery. So as marriage is seen as a sacrament and a gift of God, adultery goes against this, because it destroys the special relationship between a husband and a wife when someone comes in. For me, if I was like, hey, I would not go for adultery. Do you know why? Because I've seen many married people, with the time they tend to look alike. That means whenever you sleep with someone, you give her or him and take something from them. Oyina byomujjako oba ennyindo oba ebimwamamwa oba ki oyina kyomutwalako kaisani koze bwenzi oyina byomujjako naawe byomuwa mu ngeri emu oba endala. Yes, so then nakebeddeko nekuwanika about Islam, because Islam is one of the religions that's very strict on certain things. Even when you go to their schools, the students they wear long dresses, you know, and even they cover themselves. So nabade obusiramu bwogera ki ku bwenzi? Obusiramu bugamba nti obwenzi bubi era bukyamu, because sex outside marriage is strongly disapproved by the religion of Islam. Adultery for Muslims is seen as harmful to society, even harmful to society. So because it's against unity and the peace of the ummah, of marriage, of love in the family. Adultery for Muslims is seen as a form of the worst possible theft. Bubi. And often in some Islamic countries, it is punishable by stoning. So many of us here just suspect, no, we have not just been caught. Even most of the lodges in Kampala know our names and our cards. Mukuruhan, I don't know how they read the Quran, but I have an English one. And do not approach unlawful sexual intercourse. It is immoral and evil. Maibuno wezi mumuko nenga tumanyi fatuko tudiringana bintu bya myoyo. Neba ne abantu amonti bagendeka. Tebeba kikako nabo. It's dangerous. Abamwe kyabasiranya bwenzi webaka n'omuntu n'osirana. Ate abakazi basinga okubeera affected with this. Kubanga bo bafuna nnyo okusinga bibatwala. Ulira abenzi mama. Akati nepandika wano. The purpose of sex. Purpose of sex. Never matade kukamera katabana ngajogera ku sex. Bayinza okumpita ero bagabana. Naye kambyogere mu butuufu bwabyo. Anyway, when I've wedded over 100 couples, sexual activity needs to be controlled and reserved. A woman who becomes a public plate becomes a problem, you know. Sex is only accepted when used lawfully. Kugamba bobango ofumbidwa bango wasiza. Wandibaddenga ebintu by'obikuumira bbaawo nawe ebyo n'obikuumira mukazi wo bwe kyandibadde. Muslims view sexual intercourse according to the Quran and Hadith, that's the teaching of Muhammad, as an act of worship. Bwembanga mukirimu nga muli bafumbo mubeera nga abatendereza, mubeera nga abasinza kikolwa kituukirivu nga muzirizeewo. That fulfills the emotion, because that game, if it's lawful, it fulfills the emotional and the physical needs, because it leads to procreation. So bagitwalanga an act of worship mu Islam. Polygamy for them is allowed for Muslims, but again, sex outside that the sex outside the legal marriage of Islam is not acceptable. So obwenzi buno bandange si butofu mwenna ababukola mubukomye kubanga butaataganyiza amaka gaffe. Nfundikira kantu kano ne Muhammad byagamba, when a husband and a wife share intimacy, it is rewarded with a blessing from Allah, just as they would be punished if they had engaged in illicit sex. So sometimes mubera punished nenga temumanyi. Ate abamukumu abamusinze nawo. Enaku zino bagamba, anyway, abamusingawo naye ku bwenzi, abamulina obwana bw'amasomero, abamulina n'abakaabandi, abamumulina, abambazunza sirimu nga balinga abatunda ebintu. Ne bagenda nga bazunza. Sabamu balina ebikolobero binnyo bye bakoze mu bintu by'obwenzi okusinga bannaabwe. Muntu omulengera nga anyirira naye nga mukolimire. Nga newomuwahaago vamusiranya emyaka egi, myaka etaano. And I nebuuza, because this DNA issue is coming from extramarital affairs. So I was asking myself, why is there increase in non-marital childbearing? Lwaki? Because this is a concern. Even when you read some statistics in developed countries, it's a concern today. We have more children outside marriage. Why? One, godlessness and increased sexualism. Abantu basebu. People have phones, smartphones. When you check a gallery, pornography yajudrom. Abantu ebiroto bina byafuuka birala balota banoba balota bintu bya busebu byerere. One time there was this girl moreover she's in senior two girl. Bagendo muwulira alot ngabucha ngakama. I was like, what's the problem? Nagat, I dreamt while pushing a baby. Ngamwana was senior two. So godlessness and sexualism. Temukyayagala kusaba gana amadini agedda mugavuddeko abasinga mugenzi makanisa agayigiriza freelancer kati abantu bali awo they are less godly and they are more secular. Nekireeta okubanga you can do anything that you want. Nekivaamu ebyo. Two, increasing numbers of single parents, either by choice or unavoidable occurrence. Single parents. Ono yafudde bukyala badde akyali muto baaba. Bantu bangi bannamwandu. Nalabako wano professor omwe yafa ne balaga obwana bwe yali yakayitamu nga bwana buto bonna bunyirivu. kati obwana obumbu ba single, we are having more single younger ladies ngati banyirivu bali single. Then kati bana abasajja ne mutaataaganyizibwa, we are having more single women abamu balina sente ate nga abasajja temulina, kugamba nobeeranga nga nga kugamba asobola okulabirira n'amakaago ate nga bya single parents. So abantu abali single bongedde okuba nti omusajja asobola okuzaala ebweru, nobeeranga walina abaana ebweru. Then akalala, dissatisfaction in families and marriage. But bantu bali satisfied. Ate abantu abaswegwa ennyo, they are not sexually satisfied. Abaswegwa ddala. Muri ennaku zino, there is a problem. When I looked at YouTube, kuliko basenga bali mu kuwemula bwemuzi, bali mu kuyigiriza bintu bya kwegadanga. Bali mu kuyigiriza bintu bya buliri. Naye zino neebuuza, ffe twakuliranga mu buyumba bufunda, taata ne maama nga basula mu kisenge kiri wali, naye musula kumpi, naye yadde okuwulira noise ekiro. But these days, people are complaining to us that, Father, talk to these people. Abamu omusula mu hoteri kiro ssaawa 7 8 endulu enaya eri eyo. So we are having more people who are looking for satisfaction. That's why even marriage is dying. Number 4, people don't have time for their marriages. Temulina budde bw'abakazi n'abasajja bammwe. These days we are having men who go for conferences, abamu babeera Bulaaya, omukazi abeera kuno. Kati mugamba ne mubeeranga bonna bali mu bikemo, ne bireetera abakyala okweyiya, ne beeyiya wotali n'ofuna substitute. So people have no time for their marriages and for their spouses. Now we don't some kind of lack. Then number 5, having multiple partners, one cannot satisfy in many things. Osanga omusajja olina abakazi bana bataano oyingidde nkaaga, myaka nkaaga olina abakazi bana naye ng'okoonya nkaaga. I was telling people recently, I was in the US. I think a month ago, I was in the US for 1 month and 1 week. I was in Buffalo. That was border US and Canada. Now the mbazungu berere nenjigayo because nageze mu seniors home nenda abantu abawangadde. Kane ngamba abantu bakuno nti buli kyolina kuggwe you have to use it sparingly. Kubanga bisigala ko nebikaddiwa ebigwamu amaanyi. Kati bosanga basajja bambi abakulukulu nga mulina abakyala bato nga temusobola kuba satisfying mu bintu ebisinga, bibaleetera okweyiya ne bagwa mu bizibu bino. Then number 6, emancipation of women. We are having more women who have been educated. Babadde educated, bagala kubeera single, tebakyabasalirawo. Ate mu maka agamu abakazi bakola, abasajja temukola. Abamu balinga abali mu makomera. So this emancipation ereesa abakazi ng'asobola okuyingira ewaka anytime gy'ayagala, ate nga tomubuuza gy'ava. Bw'ombuuza gy'ava ng'ogifuluma. Kakati because even we are having now more men being married by women. Omukazi akuwasa ne bakuwa amateeka aka 12 olina kubanga oyingidde nti kale maama. So this emancipation also brought in this. Omusajja obeerawo naye bw'ogenda okula no, I have to find out bano abaana bange. So emancipation ereesa ebizibu. Then number 7, long distance relationships. Long distance relationships, omusajja omuntu wali up country, omukazi abeera wano, ebinese issues zino. Number 8, wrong peers or groups or friends around you. Abakyala nga mulina emikwano emikyamu, munywa omwenge paka ssaawa 8, ssaawa 7, mulina emmotoka. Nsinga nalwakwasanywaziza mukazi lujuuju ng'onywa omwenge. Bwe bwemba nkudeetinga gy'okoma okunywa ecupa nnyingi, mbasobola kugenda naawe. Because some women are drunkards. Banywa gino emyenge giri mikambwe nnyo egyo gyanywa. Kakati nabeeranga nga bayingira bigrupu ebitabayamba ne bagwa mu bwenzi ne bafunirayo abaana eyiwabweru eyo. So bigrupu nabyo bireesa ebizibu. Bali twagamba abantu bw'oba ng'otoddwa abagwagwa 9 gw'obeera wa 10 oze kunkomya n'atera okumaliriza. Then also the proportion of men to women, abakazi bangi nnyo okusinga abaami naddala mu nsi ezimu nga neno kyakamwagitutte. Because when you go to schools sometimes you see many girls, few boys. We don't know what's happening. So now you have some kind of competition. On radio, they were debating about adultery. Can adultery be abolished? And we were saying, no, there are so many of these kids who are products of adultery in the kindergartens. Abakazi banja bana bananga babasajja bana. So into those issues. Then also poor upbringing of children. Those girls who were brought up badly by their parents. It has been very easy to have more than one, to have other men within her marriage. Kugamba omuwala nga bamukuza bubi yavadda nga linga yalwala akasagazi yavadda nga mwenzi kuva tonga yabitandika alina musinia kanajja kati nga tasobola kubeera satisfied by one man kadeni biletamu these issues. Then ekirala mulimu ne lastly revenge to men's unfaithfulness. You see some women, they take the patience, noyenda nalwanako entalo zalwanye, then after they give up and they revenge with having men outside marriage. So they end up having these children. Anyway, without these reasons, I said, although many children born outside marriage would thrive, but recent research is indicating for those of you who have children outside your marriages, you must remember, you must know this research. It is 2015 research. It said recent research shows that those boys and girls, those children, are more likely to be poor in the future. They are more likely to experience multiple changes in family living arrangements. They grow up and they are more likely to face cognitive and behavioral challenges such as aggression and depression and death, especially when you are dead. So later on, this is going to leave the children at increased risk of adverse outcomes, especially when you are dead. When these guys grow up, they want to know who their father is, they want to know who their mother is. So, abana bonna bali outside, bali mu big threat later on. So now, should men go for DNA? It has been estimated that between 5% and 20% of the children have a wrong man identified as their father. This is global. That 5% and 20% children have wrong men. That this is your father. He is not, he's all our father. So some children write certificates, they discourage men from conducting DNA tests. Why? To protect the rights of these innocent children. Yes, but also many women wouldn't want paternity tests for their children. Many women, there are only few women who have been faithful. And I want to encourage all of you, please commit to faithfulness. Because that's what the blessing is. When we are wedding you, we encourage you. One man, one woman. You bring them up. Those who have some money, when they die, businesses and companies, they collapse. Anyway, what I'm saying is that but on another side, basing on our culture, African culture, men are expected to provide economically to the household. That's our culture here. Family, wife, and children. I've been reminding people the word father comes from Hebrew, Abba, source and sustainer. Father is the CEO of family, is the managing director. So, so it is also funny to a man to take care of his children. It is funny nga omusajja alabirira abaana b'omusajja omulala mu maka ge yazimba. It's not fair. It's passing. It's trying to solicit funds and take care of four. So ogenda in okubanga alabirira abaana bataaza. Abantu bangi berimbika good people, but they are not good people. Berimbika okuba good. Abamu basaba nnyo ne mu church engeri gy'asaba oyinza ogamba nti ne Mukama. Naye gye bakomoka ononefu n'obwenzi n'okola ebikolobero. So I want to remind you to take responsibility of your actions and to be wise when you're taking any choice. Neobeera nga oyononekanga n'amagezi tonekanga na busiru. Until recently, polygamy is not news in African culture. Era ino polygamy erine mu nsolo zaffe. Those of you are not Muslims, first Catholics, ekisibo ky'embizi kubeerako ennume egi. Ennume emu. yebeerako nga yesaavisinga ziri zonna yebeerako nga yesaavisinga ziri zonna one male many female n'enkoko ofuneemu itwala zonna. So polygamy here on the side of men is not news, but it is rare and hard that women had children outside before. Byakajja kati edda abakazi bambi beekuumanga we namanya nti ayina mujja we olumba abateeka mu nnyumba emu ne bakuuma ne babeera patient. That's why bawangaala. Naye ennaku zino abakazi muli mu kukuta bulala, mulina abasajja bangi nnyo. Even some of you come to Rotary not for service above self. You come here to look for side chicks. You come here to look for gamba stupid. Buli oluma muli wano ku hoteri olumala ojjanga babuukinze ne hoteri. Many people are willing to inject in a lot of money for adultery. Actually, some people, if you can put up together all the money they have spent in adultery, it can buy a small piece of land in Kampala. Obwenzi bubadde okola Kenya, Nairobi, Dubai, Loddawa, Rwanda. Ngolaba obwenzi bwa bei nnyo. Anyway, some women today engage in polyandrous relationships as a revenge to unfaithfulness of men. So these are issues that you must handle for you to have peace tomorrow. The biggest problem is the deliberate refusal to disclose the real father's identity by a woman or mother, despite her knowing his identity or at least having a strong idea. You have a strong idea that this boy or this girl probably belongs to Father Kiibi. You know. You fail to reveal it. That's not good. Ng'okimanyi nti omwana ono yandibanga bwagundi naye n'omusiba omusajja. Is the because of programs and there is a lot happening in our families. A lot is happening. When men go to work, some women, someone bring in men in the homes. Even some people don't fear. They use the real marital bed. And they bring in other partners. Those things are cursing. When some people having problems, some of these problems come from whatever we are doing. Anyway, in cases where a mother genuinely does not know, flexibility is called for. Sometimes abachala abeera nga tamanyi nnyo oba waani ate nga nawe tomanyi kati ebintu ebimu osaana kubanga obyosonyiwa bwesonyiyi ne waliwo buno nengenda kufundikira temugwa maanyi. Where a mother had a number of sexual partners and the father has genuine doubts, I encourage you to do DNA test. Buloberango ina doubts zonna. By the way, it's good for your health. Nzibane buffalo jinabadde nalabyo omukyala myaka 99 nga ayogera. Nalabyo ne wana abantu batugamba bati 2% people who are above 70. Is it 2%? Something like that. People here die in endwadde nyingi nnyo, abamba ina pressure because you keep a lot to yourself. I've been telling the couples that secrecy is an enemy to intimacy. Bugamba bwobango ina doubt zonna zonna ku family yo, it's your responsibility to clear doubt by going for the test. Then even impending requests for child maintenance contributions, especially when not living together. Mwe abaina abawala nga bali bweru nga agamba wamuzaalamu naye ng'olina okumpokera omusimbi. Go and find out, is that your baby? Is that your son? Is that your daughter? Don't just give. Because abakyala naturally omukyala bw'akaaba even ne musaala musinga okukaaba in prayers when you go mu kanisa bebasinga okukaaba maziga gava kumpi nnyo. So abakyala bana bakusabanga, you have to give them a lot of money. Omwana abamu byali bya one night stand ne bigwawo toli sure. Abawala abamu wano bakuuza, abamu babbi, abamu bakenkufu. They are experienced thieves and hooks. Bwakumanya nti olina ssente kyangu nnyo okusiba olubuto. Akusiba olubuto n'akunnyonnyola ebirwadde byalwadde nga biri complicated, n'agamba nabaana eriko ekiwundu. Nogamba kati kikona nti kino nabaana eriko ekiwundu, abasawo bagambye simanyi. Bwegamba nobeera nga you have to give a lot of money. Go and find out. Then abakyala ab'embuto zonna alina kumala kuzaala discover nti ono omwana wange oba nedda. So anyway, mwe abalina abaana nga bazaala omwana ebweru naye nga kusala sente nyingi, go and find out. Then in cases where a father wants to be part of the child's life because he's adamant that the child is his. Ng'oli mukyala mu maka naye nga waliwo omwami ebweru. Tolinda nga waliwo omwami ebweru agamba nzijanga kubeera na mwana wange. Please go and do DNA test. Keeping a secret sinyo ojja kufa. The percentage of high blood pressure in Africa is higher than the percentage in USA. But mwina binyo bimukukulidde, mwekweka masuuti, ne mu motoka, naye nga mwina a lot of problems, era nga mugenda okwabika bwabisi mitima, mufe, okera wa freedom buliri. Then, anyway, kati mbasaba, please, DNA is good, generally, because it will boost a man's confidence. And I want to encourage you, those of you who are still producing children, nga bakamuzala kebererawo. That's the system. Nga bakamuzala kebererawo. But it's very painful. Nozula later nga omwana tiyaliwo. Namwe abakyala mubeere mu Katonda. Tewandikiriza muntu gw'oyagala mazima kuweerera abaana ng'omanyi kitaawo omutuufu. Omanyi taatawo omutuufu. It's not fair. Omusajja nadda n'aweerera abaana naye ng'abaana bonna si babe. That's not fair at all. Of course kati abasajja babakubiriza okwewala blood pressure n'okutuka omutima. Bw'obanga famire yo teriimu buzibu bwonna ng'abaana bonna olaba emimwa gijjo ennyindo yo kugamba ebintu ebimu byesonyiwe bwesonyiyi bireke bulesi okuuma obulamu bwo nga buli sitende. That's the best for us. Buli wona abanga nga amakati ganabeera mu bizibu nga kugamba nga toli very sure. Manya ng'olaba tewali buzibu bwonna. Please, ebintu ebimu tobitaganjula. That time I was telling people, some people are only good to meet in bars and in social gatherings like this one. Abantu abamu kirungi omusange wano munyumyemu omuleke. Bw'omutegeera ennyo, you will blacklist him or her tomorrow. Kati bw'omusanga wano oba in a bar mumanyira awo by'omutegeddeko. But when you go deep into them, obeera wa biki ebikufaako, you will blacklist. So bintu ebimu tobiyingirira bireke bulesi. Either way, a man is a loser in this case. So in case there is doubt or issues leading to doubt, I want to encourage you to have peace of mind. It is good to do DNA. But in the case when you have been with the children for over 10 years, over 10, they know as a father, please continue doing the good job. They will know that you took good care of them and they will appreciate you. Olaba muteka sente mu bantu eyo noberanga abaliwo n'abavubuka bano abalina nursery beds abawala akajja mu primary nga jakaliisa paka bwakatuuka eno n'akawasa senior 6 n'akatwala ku university. Kakati when you have, I'm not encouraging you to be damaged naye emyaka gyamu tekikyayonooneka mwena muli veteran tewali kipya kimulabanga. But I want to encourage you, in the case of doubt, please do DNA. Nebo banga tewali sign yonna ekutaataaganya kuleeta ku doubting. Please keep yourself from high blood pressure and heart attack. Sigala ng'okola ng'oweerera abaana bo oba babo oba si babo ogende maaso. But research is also indicating that after DNA, the family can never be the same again. You see, a man in Africa, always a man, it was easy for a man to be shared. But for a woman to be shared, it was sounding like a disgrace to know that your wife, your good wife, has been shared by multiple men. It is very disturbing. Osanga musajja nga alina abakazi banna naye nga abakoma butiribiri naye nga alina banna ne bannanga omukazi okubanga alina more than one man n'okigwamu abasajja kibayisa bubi nnyo. Banaye abakyala mwekuume bannanga mutuyambe mwekuume mutuyambe buyambe mukuume bataata baffe. Omukazi obwenzi Even abantu baliko emyoyo emibi nze kambabulire. For us, akati let me tell you, for me yesterday I prayed for someone. You listen. Yesterday I prayed for somebody, but I woke up tired. I normally speak with a lot of vibe more than this, but I woke up very tired. So je nabadde babadde stand. Nze nabeeranga erubaga wali abantu bajjanga mu office nekola counseling naye omuntu bw'ayingira nempuliranga awunya stand. But for you cannot feel it. Recently, sometime back recently, I was in Masaka. After Mass, I said, I'm going to pray for you people here. And as I was praying for them, there was this coming man who was moving up and down, and the guy collapsed and fell down. Then after Mass, the guy came and said hi. I didn't know that I had some high blood pressure. I told him, that's not high blood pressure. Or you'll worry about after one. So, even some of you here, you may be in high positions, you may be having some good jobs, but whatever you are doing behind the curtains of your life, whatever you are doing, if you have HIV and you are spreading HIV everywhere and people are taking medication because of you, those of you who have produced kids and women, you are not looking after them, all those are curses. You are dangers to our nation. That even when someone just meets or sleeps with you, call him. So, njakubasaba nga mugenda mu nsonga za DNA, be mature enough, seek counseling and guidance before you take a step. My biggest advice, if there is nothing that makes you suspicious in your home and family, please keep the peace. Save yourself from dying slowly. But if you have any doubts over any child, over any daughter, any son, go for DNA. Now when you discover that there's a problem, you must also remember yourself whether you have never done it. Some of you have not just been able to beget a child, but you have slept on many women around town, even outside town, or even outside the country. But sometimes you have to dig deeper into the issue. How did this happen? Allow her to explain and talk over it. That's the best way to keep your family together. To men, in the case you decide to do the DNA, be emotionally mature to accept the result. Then, for proper rights of inheritance, a DNA is good. Because it's for us mu Buganda, obuwangwa bulagira omusika yandibadde mutuufu. So, kirungi nnyo okumanya ddala abaana. Then to identify biological, anyway, kakati mfundikira how to handle these results. Finally, handle children found negative and those affected. Ugamba abana bobo sanze nga sibabo. Try to give them the required counseling. One time oba mwalaba ku social media omusajja mwana bali bamufudde musika ne bamujjayo mu kamera ne boogera nti no okuva leero tokyali wa kika kino. For what? Ono mwana muto. You cannot know the injury you are going to cause on this child. Ate munengenze nzuula, all children are open possibilities. All of them, they can turn out into anything tomorrow. So, we need to be very careful. Obango zudda abaana sibabo, mubawe required counseling. Mubawe, be a mother and be a good father. Then, if you have been with a child for more than 10 years, like I said, and no suspicion, please, for the sake of peace, leave the DNA. In the case, if it's true, find a way to accept the outcomes and accept the child as adopted. Because even sometimes the women don't know. Some of these women, bw'obanga wasanga omukyala wo ng'ali 18 oba 16 awo nno oyinza omunenya nnyo naye mwenna abaatwala abaazirwanako ng'okimanyi bulungi omuntu wafunanga mukulu muno wamusanga nga ddala naye ago byalwanye ng'omulaba abadde sematalo. So please, sometimes they have come a long way. They have gone through a lot of stuff. You see, these issues of marriage, sometimes they are for trial and error. And they have had to go through a lot of stuff that someone cannot tell you. Someone cannot tell you, in case it's true, find a way to accept the outcomes and, and move on. Then, if any man is claiming any of your children, do not hesitate to go straight to the DNA. Bw'olabanga waliwo omusajja alwanira omwana mugende ku DNA mangu. Tolemerako nnyo. Let us be cautious. Let us be patient. Let us manage our marriages and keep them safe from such issues. If you are married, be married. Mubanga bempeta mugezeko kulwana. Sometimes it's so hard. Sometimes for us in our home, our dad used to come back over the weekend. Nenga sometimes yakumango Friday, atenga Saturday name kolanga inakuda yes, the next weekend. And mama waffe kati balina emyaka 43 mu bufumbo. Abakyala b'ennaku zino temukyali bagumiikiriza nnyo, mwongere okubeera abagumiikiriza musobole okulanda omukuuma amaka gaffe. Let us always be there for each other so that our marriages don't break. I've been encouraging all the married couples that you must invest in your marriage. Kyotafaako kikufaako. Obufumbo mbuwe obudde. Once in a while, mutambuleko. You to renew the love, you must date each other every day. Nabade ngamba abantu, it's not right for someone to come to a point of when you only have 2 documents, baptism card and ID, national ID. Nabagamba, go and get these passports, travel, move, go to Kenya, go to Nairobi, or another country. Unakulwa abagala na mutambule mugendeke Rwanda. Niegwe sebo. Nobeera mu ggwanga. Even the plates of the home get tired of you. You are ever there. You have no way. Omukazi azadde abaana, azadde abalongo. But then, try to make sure that you revitalize marriage every day. Then, lastly, when making mistakes, be wise enough when you are making mistakes. Sometimes, mubeera so tempted, but be wise enough and avoid exposing yourself into such situations that may completely ruin your future. Abantu bagamba, sometimes, ogera n'ogamba bannange, I was high. I got high, you know. But always be wise. So, bw'owulira stories engeri abantu gye bafunamu mu Kenya, bagenda out, they became too cozy, they danced, they drank, then in the end, they had sex. In the end, then they conceive, then all of a night, ekisooka tebyakunyumira. Tebyatonda budde buwanvu, ofunye olubuto, bafunye endwadde. Abantu balina stories nyingi engeri gye bafunamu STIs, nobonabona. Always be wise enough. Mu abantu abasoma, olaba abakazi abataasoma bakumanga amakati mu abalina PhD, abalina masters. Try to take good care of yourself. So I want to thank you for coming. I want to encourage you to have a wonderful family. Abaana bonna abali makago babeererewo, ababo n'abatali. Ebintu ebimu obyesonyiwe, naye bw'oba olina any doubts, please go and do a DNA. Anything that's pertaining your life, make sure that you are living good life. Life etalimu so many secrets, because secrets with time they boil and they bring you they bring you cardiovascular sicknesses that may ruin your life and future. I hope I've been able to say something sensible to you. It was a funny topic that you gave me, but thank you for inviting me, and may God bless you. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of In My Voice. I'm hoping you've enjoyed, and if you have, please remember to comment, like, and share with your friends so that this very important information is not missed by anyone. You can also visit my YouTube channel at Abbas Bonaheri, and you will find all the episodes that we have been publishing on this podcast on YouTube. And while there, please remember to subscribe to all my channels and share this information with your friends so that we can get to grow our platform. Thank you so much once again. Until next time, I am Abbas Bonaheri signing out from the In My Voice podcast. Ciao, adios.